Our next speaker for the talk on radiotherapy, that is the basic concepts and recent advances. I would like to call up on stage Dr. Neha Patel. She is a MD radiotherapy from GCRI Ahmedabad. She is an additional medical director at Lions Cancer Detection Center. She has 10 years of the vast experience in radiation oncology field. She is trained at SRS SBRT in CyberKnife at Medanta, Delhi, followed by in the radiotherapy at Max Hospital, Saket, Delhi, that is in the motion management. She is also having experience in tomotherapy of almost 3 years with training experience from Madison, USA. She is EC member and co-chairman of Scientific Committee for IMS Surat, and she is the Scientific Committee member of South Gujarat Oncology Association as well. Over to you, ma'am, for next 20 minutes. Thank you.
A very good morning and warm welcome to you all. Today I'll be speaking on my own subject, radiotherapy, the basic concept, recent advances and the various radiation techniques. So many people are confused which technique to choose while going for radiotherapy, and here I am to tell you in detail about those techniques. So I'll start with something basics. What is radiation? It is the energy emitted from an atom or nucleus in the form of waves or particles. And when we use this energy for treatment of cancer disease, then it is called radiotherapy. So this is the spectrum of energy. People are confused what is the radiation, what are the type of radiation, and so I'm going to explain. We have the whole spectrum of energy, in which we have on the extreme left we have non-ionizing radiation, in which we have radio waves which are non-thermal and they induces low current. As we move further, we have microwaves and infrared waves which have thermal effect. As we move further ahead, we have visible light and ultraviolet light, which has optical effect and it has the power to excite electron. So coming to the extreme right side, which we are using in the treatment, are the ionizing radiation, which have the power to break the bond and damage the DNA. So we have two types of ionizing radiation. One is electromagnetic waveform and one is in particulate waveform. The electromagnetic waveform are gamma rays and X-rays. Gamma rays are emitted from cobalt source, and X-rays which are mainly used for the treatment of radiation. So let's see how radiation interact with matter. Radiation basically have interaction by direct damage or indirect damage. So in direct damage, the radiation beam directly causes damage to the DNA as shown in the figure, and in indirect damage, the radiation beam first interact with water, which is the majority part of our body, to form free radicals, and this free radical in turn causes damage to the DNA. So let's see how radiation works. So radiation damages cancer cells more as compared to normal cells. Why this is happening? Because cancer cells are dividing very fast. So the radiation damages only when the cells are trying to divide. So it will act mainly in G2M phase of the cell cycle. And when the cell are trying to divide, that is in G2M phase, it is the most radiosensitive part. And so cancer cell divide more frequently than normal cell, and that's why they damage cancer cell more rather than damaging the normal cells, and normal cells only undergo a sublethal damage. So if we see, this is the group of cancer cells. When first fraction of radiation is given, only those cells which are in G2M phase are killed by the radiation. Till the next fraction, those cells which were not in G2M phase, they come into the G2M phase and they are killed by the second fraction, and this process continues till the whole group of cells are damaged. So gray is the basic unit of radiation, and 1 gray is equal to 100 centigrade. So if I am saying that I want to give a 60 gray of dose, I am delivering per day dose of 2 gray per fraction, which is divided in 30 fraction. We deliver radiation from Monday to Friday, and there is off for Saturday, Sunday for recovery of our normal tissue. And thus for 30 fraction means 1.5 months is required to complete the whole treatment. These are the various fractionation schedule. Conventional fraction is mainly used, where the per day dose is 1.8 to 2 gray per fraction. The second is hypofraction, which means that we are trying to decrease the fraction. So for decreasing the fraction, we need to increase the per day dose. So it will be in the range of 2.5 to 5 gray. The third is hyperfractionation, means as the name suggests, we are increasing the number of fraction. So the dose per day is decreased to 1.15, and these are the newer techniques called stereotactic radiosurgery, stereotactic radiotherapy, and SBRT. So these are the various radiotherapy techniques. To name them, these are 2D-RT, 3D-CRT, IMRT, and IGRT. So starting with something very basic, 2D-RT, which was done in cobalt era, we made these kind of boxes. So if we wanted to treat a case of oropharyngeal carcinoma, we used to deliver 50% dose from one side, 50% dose from other side to get this kind of dose distribution. So if we can see in this figure that we are able to get 100% dose in our target region, but we were also damaging the surrounding parotid glands, the spinal cord, and the oral cavity. So then we started planning by CT scan. So if we wanted to treat a case of CA oropharynx, we tried to change the angle of the beams in such a way that we were able to spare the normal structure. So we give one beam from this side, one beam from this side, and one beam from this side. So what was happening? The 100% dose were divided into 3 parts, and so earlier we used to fire the normal structure by 50% dose from here, 50% from here. It was now getting divided in 3 beams. So let's say 60% from here and 20% from here. So surrounding structure, which was earlier getting 50% dose, is now getting only 20% of the dose. So, but we get this kind of radiation distribution. There was still an extra dose to the oral cavity. Our parotids were also getting fired, but we were able to spare the spinal cord, and there was a hot dose or the extra dose inside the target. Then came the newer technique, which is called intensity modulated radiotherapy. First we used to give the open beams from both the sides. Now what we are doing, we are manipulating these beams by these MLCs. These are, the below is the figure of MLC. These are tiny multi-leaf collimator which divide the main beam into multiple beamlets. So now if you can see in the first figure, we are only allowing that beam which we want to treat the tumor. The rest beam which are targeting towards the normal structures are blocked by this tiny MLC, and this process continues. And so we get this kind of very good distribution of radiation where we are able to spare the oral cavity, the parotid glands, as well as the spinal cord. So next technique is IGRT, which is image guided radiotherapy. We are making such a good plan and we are able to spare the normal structure beautifully. But are we delivering the radiation in the same way as we have planned on the day one? So to check that, we get image guided radiotherapy. That means we are taking X-ray or CT scan on the table to check whether the radiation is going properly to the targeted region. The modern radiotherapy techniques are rapid arc and tomotherapy. As I already said, when we divide radiation into multiple directions, we are lowering the peripheral dose and also manipulating the dose by this MLC to get continuous motion of the MLC. So we were able to change the intensity of the dose by the gantry speed, and the speed is increased. So the overall treatment time, which was earlier half an hour, now patient is getting treated only in 10 minutes. So this is another technique, tomotherapy. First we were moving only the gantry and the MLC was moving. Now we are moving couch also. So tumor is treated slice by slice in this, along with manipulation or modulation of the beam. So this is the normal workflow which is going on in radiotherapy department. We have a whole team of doctor with physicist and radiation technologist. So patient first undergo consultation by doctor. Then there is immobilization preparation of the part to be treated by radiation technologist. Then plan is generated by our physicist, and that best plan is finalized by the radiation oncologist. And finally, the treatment is delivered on machine by our radiation technologist. These are the few cases which are treated in Lions Cancer Hospital. A case of subconjunctival mass, biopsy of which revealed low-grade B-cell lymphoma in the eye. So after 2 years of treatment, you can see the patient has a normal vision with no eye atrophy. Only patient had to undergo cataract surgery because lens has little less tolerance for radiation. This is the second case of germinoma, a suprasellar mass which was excised in 2022. Patient underwent few cycles of chemotherapy. During chemotherapy, patient developed leptomeningeal enhancing lesions and subarachnoid dissemination, due to which I had to treat the whole area of cranium as well as spinal cord. You can see that there is no gap in between the radiation fields, no hot dose or cold dose, while treating the whole cranium and spinal region. At the same time, we were boosting the primary tumor. So the end result, as we can see after the treatment, there was complete response to the tumor. The third case is oropharyngeal carcinoma. There was a big soft tissue mass involving the oropharyngeal region and the bilateral tonsillar region. I treated it by giving a higher dose to primary and lymph node region and an intermediate dose to the surrounding neck region. And the result is complete response of the tumor after 4 to 6 months. A case of CA breast. Earlier we used to treat the CA breast patient by conventional radiotherapy. So patient had to undergo around 6 weeks of treatment. 25 fraction to the whole breast and 5 fraction boost to the primary tumor. So now, due to advent of the higher technology, we are able to give simultaneous integrated boost technique, in which we give a moderate dose to whole breast. At the same time, we are giving a high dose to the primary site, and the radiation treatment, which was earlier getting 6 weeks of treatment, now is completed only in 3 weeks. The case of CA anorectum, squamous cell carcinoma, a very bad growth involving the rectum, anal canal and perianal region. Patient was treated by chemoradiation, a high dose to the primary tumor, the lymph node area, pelvic lymph node and inguinal region were treated, and the result is, we can see there is no definite evidence as seen on the PET scan. A case of CA cervix, around 5 centimeter of lesion involving the cervix with minimal invasion of the parametrium, was treated by chemoradiation. Again, after 3 months, no evidence of disease. So coming to the newer technique like SRS and SBRT, what is SRS? Stereotactic radiosurgery. As the name suggests, this technique is a knife for radiation oncologist. It is equivalent to surgery. So if a patient who is not able to undergo surgery can be taken for SRS, due to comorbidities, patient may not undergo surgery like cardiac events or diabetic or something else. So they can be offered SRS or SBRT technique. Now what are they? So earlier in conventional radiation, we used to give per day dose of around 2 gray. Now in these techniques, we are increasing the dose to 24 gray in a single fraction, and it can go up to 80 to 90 gray per fraction according to the indication. So to do that, we need a specialized machine and immobilization devices for delivering of SRS and SBRT. So why do we need SBRT? We get a better local control, which is around 92 to 97%, and some radio tumors like renal cell carcinoma, sarcomas and melanomas, which were not tackled earlier by this conventional fractionation, are responding to SBRT. So if we compare SBRT SRS with surgery, it's an outpatient procedure. It is a non-invasive technique. the treatment time is shorter. The treatment time is usually for 1 or 2 weeks, and treatment is given in alternate days, whereas the conventional fractionation, the treatment is given daily with weekend off. So again, it's a good option for those who are not healthy enough for undergoing surgery. So in SRS, a single high dose of radiation when given stereotactically in the cranium or in the brain area, it is called stereotactic radiosurgery. And when it is given extracranially in other parts of the body, like in lung, liver or kidney, it is called stereotactic body radiotherapy. So let's see the evolution. So it started with gamma knife, where multiple cobalt source was stereotactically directed towards the single target in the brain. Then came LINAC-based SRS, but this kind of technique usually required these kind of invasive head frames, which should be fixed to the brain of the patient. So then came the robotic linear accelerator, specially dedicated robotic machines for delivering radiation to brain as well as extracranial region, specialized for SRS and SBRT. Then LINAC based, and this is the newest machine, the Zapex SRS machine, which is self-shielded. That means you don't need to make any bunker for installation of these machines. So what are the indication of stereotactic radiosurgery? Malignancy, we can treat brain metastasis which are less than 5 in number, GBM, astrocytoma, oligodendroglioma. In benign cases, we can treat meningioma, schwannoma, pituitary adenoma, acoustic neuroma, and in functional disorders, we can treat trigeminal neuralgia, which require a dose of around 80 to 90 gray, and we can treat AVM and epilepsy. So this is one case which was treated in Lions Cancer Hospital. This is an thalamic arteriovenous malformation. Patient has around 3 into 2.5 into 2.5 centimeter thalamic tortuous tuft of vessels, for which conservatively managed by the neurosurgeon, as patient was having one episode of hemorrhagic bleed. So after that, patient again had one more episode of hemorrhagic bleed, and so patient was sent for radiation oncologist opinion. So it was not tackled by neurosurgeon or any interventional radiologist, and so I planned to give him fractionated SRS radiation, and now patient is doing well. This is again a case of SBRT of spine. There is new advent of stage 4 tumors now, the oligometastatic cases. Oligometastasis means patient is having metastasis outside the primary tumor, but they are less in number, like less than 5. So we can still give the curative radiation to those patients. So this is such case. This is a case of CA breast having a very tiny oligometastatic lesion in the vertebra. You can see that I have given the gross disease a higher dose of 35 gray, and the surrounding vertebral region is given 30 gray of dose. And the result is complete response, as you can see on the PET scan. Coming to the newer technique SBRT, when such a high dose is given to rest of the body where everything is moving, lung, liver, everything is moving with breathing and movement of the diaphragm, then we have to be very cautious by delivering these kind of radiation. So the indications of SBRT are lung, primary T1, T2 lesions which are not surgically addressed, the oligometastatic lung cases. Then we can treat liver tumors, primary or metastatic tumors, kidney, pancreas, bile duct, prostate, and bone primary or metastatic lesion. So for motion management of these tumors, as everything is moving in the body by respiratory motion or by the diaphragmatic motion, we need to control the motion of the tumor. So in the first figure, you can see this is motion inclusive treatment. We are trying to include the whole motion of the tumor. In the second image, you can see that beam is on only when the tumor is coming in particular phase of the respiratory cycle. And in the third, the machine is tracking the whole tumor up and down. So the third one is the best kind of radiation because we are able to deliver very high dose with minimal margin. So I would like to discuss few newer radiation technologies which are SGRT, that is surface guided radiotherapy. Earlier in our time we are using 3 tattoo marks on the body to align the patient daily so that patient is not moving during the treatment. So this SGRT technique has multiple 3 million points to which acts as a surrogate and proper positioning of the patient during the treatment. So you can see it is color coded. So if it is red, that means you have to move the patient's hand down. If it is yellow, then it means you have to move the patient's arms up. So the newest technique is proton therapy. In this, in X-ray, when we fire a beam of radiation, it travels through and through our body. It starts from anterior side, there is a low dose going or the exit dose is coming outside from the other end of the body. But in proton therapy, proton has a property to deliver all its energy to the target region. So when the beam is fired, it explodes near the target region and there is no dose beyond the tumor. So we don't get any exit dose. So this is the advantage of proton. The latest is the MR-Linac, where it helps us to delineate soft tissue well and we can target the tumor well. And the most advanced technique is the flash radiotherapy. So we can treat the tumor in a flash of second. Only this much, 30 gray deliver in 1 second. But this flash radiotherapy is still in experimental stage. So I want to pass on the message that there are many novelties in radiotherapy, medical oncology and surgical oncology as well. So we should not tell patient that cancer is a death sentence, and we should give them hope that we are able to give a better quality of life and longer life to the patients. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha-ben. I would like to request Dr. Parul Vadgama and Dr. Jagruti Desai Madam to felicitate her. I think we are running short of time, so question answers can be entertained in person. Thank you very much, Dr. Neha Patel Ma'am. Movie tickets will be given at 3 p.m. So please collect them.